Hey, and welcome to The Solid Verbal. Now would be a perfect time to consider subscribing. Yeah, that little subscribe button for year-round premium college football content. That's it. Here's the video. Enjoy. Subscribe. You want to talk about USC and the luck factor?
Explain the luck factor to me with USC.
So number one in the country in terms of turnover margin. They're plus 14 at the moment, which is well ahead of basically everybody, as far as I could tell. A lot of that comes from the interceptions that have bailed out less than stellar defensive drives, especially in the red zone. They had 4 picks, I believe, against Oregon State this past weekend. And I also want to be quick to say interceptions are not all luck. Like, yes, it's lucky if a quarterback throws a bad pass and you're there to catch it. But also, I'm a big believer in right place, right time. And so if you are able to find yourself as a defensive back or a linebacker or whatever, doing your job in the lane you're supposed to be in the passing lane, and you pick off a quarterback, that's not fully luck. It is a skill to have situational awareness. And so USC, though, the manner in which they've won, they've had to rely on those turnovers. And if those are dropped passes or overthrown passes or tipped balls that fall innocently to the grass, and a team lives to play another down, we might be talking about a 3-1 USC. Or a 2-2 USC.
Yeah.
Fresno State was able to move the ball against USC. Oregon State was able to fully stop, basically, USC's offense. And so you say Oregon State has basically the same game on offense, but only throws 1 pick. We're probably talking about a Beaver win. But once again, USC is drafting off of the opportunity truck. I think they are a good team who is probably the 17th best team in the country, not the 6th best team in the country. And I think that jump has to do with luck. Do you agree? Do you think like the other thing though is we're now talking about a schedule that features Utah and maybe UCLA on a great day? What is on this regular season schedule for USC that they just can't get by with maybe not as much luck, but some luck?
Yeah. Man, I see
plus 14.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they've definitely been buoyed by some of the turnovers, right? I mean, I tend to think that teams with new coaches often see this, right? There are these areas in the margins where you have some oddities that occur early on, and it's how a new coach either harnesses it or doesn't harness it that can teach you a lot about how their coaching style is, how the team feels about the coach. Like, you know, we saw some unlucky stuff with Brian Kelly at LSU. I feel like you see this type of thing all the time with new coaches, and USC has been able to use this type of stuff to its advantage. I believe that as the season goes on, we will be talking less about luck with USC. I think as this team settles into what it will eventually become by the time we get to like the Notre Dame game, Thanksgiving weekend, there will less be a luck component involved here. The question is, they've got Utah in a couple weeks on the road, and if there is any luck that is buoying USC, it's going to come out then.
Yeah,
it's going to come out then because Utah does not need luck to win. Utah will beat your brains in. They didn't do it effectively against Florida, but they will beat your brains in. They will run you to death.
So violent.
And
beating
they will hit
your brains
passes
in and running you to death.
That's what Utah does. That's what Utah does. So what I think I'm saying here is we'll find out soon enough if you're right. It may even be a game like a Washington State, potential look-ahead game the week before Utah. Game is in USC, but at the same time, that's a team with a good defense. You saw it last week, right? Or at least can play good defense. So I'm mixed on the USC luck thing. They just have such good players that, not to say that they are immune from the whole luck thing, but gosh, when you've got Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison, I don't know.
No, there's no luck involved with those talents. The problem is, if we're talking about a top 8-5 type team for USC, which is where they're ranking, I think they're 6th in the AP poll. I don't memorize these things. I'm old and washed up. USC has one of the absolute worst rush defenses in the country, and they've played Fresno, Oregon State, like Rice. and they haven't been protecting Caleb Williams. So if we're saying, do you believe in USC as a top 10 team with an abysmal rush defense and an offensive line, but PFF, an offensive line who in practice has not protected Caleb Williams all that effectively? They are one of the worst tackling teams in the country. Again, USC, good team, not excellent team. Not excellent team. And I don't know if it's Washington State because they absolutely did get gashed by Oregon. Bo Nix threw for an all-time high. The running backs running for 7 yards a carry. They stood up in the red zone impressively. Yes, Washington State could beat USC. If that game were in Pullman, I'd feel better about that potential. But no, USC still feels like a 9 or 10 win program, if not more. But if they have to put up against a playoff team, what is Trey Henderson going to do on the ground against USC? What is Jahmyr Gibbs going to do? What is Kendall Milton going to do? I've seen it up close, Ty. It's not pretty. Again, we can offline about what it's like to beat Ohio State, but I just think they are prime LRO. I just don't know when the L is going to RO. That's the question.